John chapter 21, verses 15 through 19. And it reads thus. So when they had dined, you can read with me. Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest I do. He said unto him, Feed my lambs. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Jesus said unto him, Feed my sheep. Verse 18, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself, and walkest whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee, and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. Next verse, last verse. This spake he, signifying by what death he would glorify God. And when he had spoken this, he said unto him, Amen. And the Lord add a blessing to the reading, the hearing, and the doing of his word. And from this text, I would like to talk about the God of second chances. The God of second chances. You may be seated. The God of second chances. How many of you have felt like, or you're feeling like, you have messed up with God to the point that you can't get right with him? You might be one of those who have been in church all your life, and you have said, when I move out of mama and daddy's house, I'm not going to church no more. And I don't want anything to do with God. Or you might be one of those who once have said, I'm going to go and do my own thing. Forget about God. It's all about me. I'm going to go and live my life and live it to the fullest. Or you might be one of those who knew the power of God and have seen him actively working in your life and in the life of others, but you have chosen to walk away from him. Or you might be one of those who have felt God pulling at your heart, and he's been pulling for a long time now, but you have been ignoring the pull. Amen. Or you might be one of those who have gotten mad at God because he didn't answer your prayer the way that you wanted him to. Or you might be one of those who have looked back over your life, and you have spotted something that you did in the past, and you knew that God wasn't pleased with it. But now you're at a point in life where you're wondering, could God ever forgive me? Could God ever forgive me from walking away from him? Could God ever forgive me from turning my back on him? Could God ever forgive me for ignoring him? Could God ever forgive me for the choices that I have made? Could God ever give me another chance? And the answer to that question is yes. God can and He will give you another chance. Why? Because He is the God of second chances. Now notice that I didn't say He's the God of a second chance. I said He's the God of second chances. See, there's a difference between a second chance and second chances. See, a second chance means you only have one opportunity to get it right. And if you don't get it right, then that's it. But second chances means that if you mess up, you have another opportunity. And if you mess that opportunity up, then you have another opportunity. And if you mess that one up, you have another opportunity. Why? Because God is the God of second chances. And I'm so glad that God is a God of second chances and that He's not like mankind. See, if it was up to man and if you messed up with man, man will kick you to the curb. Oh, come on now. You know some friends right now who are not dealing with you because they felt you messed up. You know, with some folks, it's one and done. If you don't get it right that one time, that is it. They don't want to deal with you at all. One time, I used to have a friend. We used to have a friend of the family, and she used to always tell us, "You know what? You got one chance to cross me." She said, "One chance. You messed that up. That's it. That's it. Let bygones be bygones. We don't have no more dealings after that." But you know, God is not like that. God is not like man. And oftentimes we try to put God in the same box that we put man in. Yes, man will not give us many chances, but God will. Because He is the God of second chances. In our text this morning, we find Jesus eating breakfast with His disciples. This was after Jesus had risen from the dead. This is after the resurrection. And this is His third appearance to His disciples. The first two times He appeared to them was behind closed doors. The disciples was locked up behind closed doors, and Jesus appeared in the room. Did you get that? The disciples was locked behind closed doors, and Jesus appeared in the room. He just showed up. And you know what? That's a good point to make. You know what? Sometimes God will just show up in your life. Amen. Sometimes He will just show up in your life. And when He shows up, He always comes to make a difference. Yes, He does. He always comes to make a difference. Sometimes He'll come to change things around. Sometimes He'll come to fix things. But nevertheless, when He comes, He's going to make a difference. So here He is, appearing to the disciples. And this time, He's on the shore, and the disciples are on the boat. They had been out fishing. And Jesus is on the shore, and He calls them over for breakfast. Come on, guys. Come eat some food. And so the disciples are sitting down, dining with Jesus, and eating breakfast. And when breakfast was over with, Jesus turned His attention to Simon Peter. He turns his attention to Simon and singles him out. It is as if Simon Peter and Jesus were having a one-on-one conversation without no one around. Look at what Jesus says here in verse number 15. So when they had dined, Jesus said unto Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou more than these? He said unto them, Yea, Lord, you knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my lambs. Jesus asked Simon if he loved him more than these. Now, the more than these that Jesus is referring to here is not the boats, the nets, or the fishing gear. It is not that Jesus was asking Simon Peter if he loved him more than the other disciples, if he loved the other disciples more than Jesus. That's not what he's asking him here. He said, do you love me more than these? What Jesus is saying here is, Simon, do you still love me above these?
Come on now.
Because one day, Jesus told the disciples, you're all going to fall away from me. And Simon said, no, Lord, I'm not going to fall away. They may fall away, but I'm not going to fall away. They may fall short, but I'm not going to fall short. Because my name is Peter. Peter means rock, which means stability. I'm the stable one. So no, Lord, I'm not going to fall away. They may fall away. And Jesus remembers the conversation, and so he says to Peter, Peter, do you